What's going on, everybody? This is Matt Does Fitness, and I saw an incredibly tall old man walk past my house yesterday. I knew he was tall because I was on the second floor. Okay, that joke was courtesy of Jonathan Gaskin. Thank you very much, my friend. Anyone that has any good joke suggestions, let me know in the comments. If they pass my quality test, I may well use them. Okay, here we go. So this is my squat highlights from cycle to week 3 of my yet to be named program. Okay, first session was 5 sets of 3 at 175 kilos, which is 386 pounds. Now this is a pretty massive session for me. All of my lifts, but particularly my squats, have been going up really well. Like literally every single session for the last few weeks, the weight's been going up. And this one, I mean, this was something that I was doing for 5 singles not so long ago. In fact, not that long before I did my 430 pound PR. So to get it for 5 sets of 3, which, spoiler alert, I did, is a massive achievement for me, and I'm really, really pleased with that. The form is kind of the same as it has been recently. It's not amazing. I'm still misgrooving quite a lot. I'm still trying to... The biggest issue I have is that I'm not settled on the best position, kind of the best position in which to drop. So I'm always dropping to full depth. That's a given. But in terms of how far over my ankles I'm going, that's the thing I haven't. Oh, thanks, bud. That's the thing I have not determined yet. So sometimes I sit back a bit too much and then I get stuck. Sometimes I go forwards too much and then the bar almost goes over my head. And then every so often I kind of find that sweet spot and I bounce up really easily. So I'm just trying to consistently hit that spot. The problem is that at the moment it's probably happening best 1 in 2, probably 1 in 3 squats. I'm hitting that point, so I guess over time it will come, but it's just a little bit frustrating because sometimes I feel like I can do more than I'm doing, but it's killing me going down and getting, like I said, misgrooving and then getting stuck a little bit. But it's coming, and the good news is that despite that, I'm still putting on weight every single session. And like I said, 386 pounds, 175 kilos. Not too long ago, that would have been a big PR for me. So to get that for 5 sets of 3, like I said, it's pretty friggin' massive, and I'm really happy. You can see here, by the way, on a side note, the gym was ridiculously busy. It doesn't tend to be this busy. After I finished my squats, I counted 13 people in the gym, including me. And bearing in mind the gym is about the size of my bathroom, that gives you an idea of how rammed it was. You can see here the camera, I'm having to put it in a bit of an awkward position because there were so many people around. I kept putting it down and then people kept like working out there, so I had to keep moving it. Selfish sons of bitches. Here's my last set, just about grind that out. The third rep of most of my sets was a little bit of a grind, but to be honest, at that weight, I'll definitely take that. 5 sets of 3 is friggin' awesome. You see I'm pretty wiped out, but I got them. That's what I am talking about. Now, moving on, I did some pause squats. I thought I'd get a different angle here to show you the depth I'm going. I'm sitting down really deep, and I'm pretty pleased with my form, to be honest. It's 135 kilos, so what is that? Like 200, basically 300 pounds, and it felt really good. I felt nice and strong. I like the pauses, even though it's obviously a contrast to the kind of quick stretch reflex I'm getting in my normal squats. These feel really good. They look a bit wonky there, but I believe that is the camera angle, or quite possibly the floor in my gym, because it is pretty messed up. And I finished that session with some accessory work. I did some T-bar rows, 3 sets of 12-ish on these. Didn't go too heavy because my back took a bit of a hammering from those squats, particularly like all the misgrooved attempts, which was quite a lot of them. This attachment here, you can't see it, but it's wonky and it really winds me up because I'm super autistic and I don't like it when things are not even. So I have to like turn the hand around each time to try and get that both sides of my body level. And then I did some reverse dumbbell flies, hitting those rear delts, 3 sets of 12-ish on these. I never know quite what kind of angle to set the bench at. I mean, ideally, I guess it will be completely flat, but the problem there is that if I use a bench and lie on it, I'm too close to the ground, so the dumbbells are just hitting the floor all the time. And obviously, if I do too much of an incline, it becomes like a side delt exercise, so I'm still trying to find that. But that was right, I felt some good rear delt engagement. And here is my second session. So, you can see there, 4 sets of 4, 170 kilos, which is 375 pounds. Now, the plan here was to do 5 sets of 5, which would have been a massive PR for me. This is my first set, and you'll see here I only get 4 reps. I just felt a bit crap today. I think if you've seen my, I'm hopefully you've seen my deadlift video from a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen it, you're a disloyal, dirty rat, so go back and watch it. But I did a massive deadlift rep PR, and I think basically that kind of took it out of me, which is why I didn't feel so good today, because that was only like 48 hours ago. But what I did in the end, I realised at this point that it was unrealistic to get for 5 sets of 5, so I went for 4 sets of 4, and I got that. And to be honest, I'm really pleased with that. It's still a rep PR. It's still the most I've ever done for 375 pounds, 170 kilos. And yeah, I mean, like I said earlier on, I mean, this kind of weight I was doing for singles, and I was really happy with it not so long ago. So to be doing it for 4 sets of 4 is friggin' decent. Also on that note, the fact that the first set, I mean, you notice basically every set, the 4th rep is a grind. It felt like 4 reps was the most I could do. So the fact that I managed to repeat that 4 times is really, really pleasing. You see there, again, because due to the fact that I was kind of pretty tired and didn't feel great, there was again a lot of misgrooving going on. You see me kind of my back starting to bend a little bit and almost doing like good mornings, trying to keep the bar up, which is obviously frustrating and it's not great. But the good news is I was able to get the reps in. I mean, after that first set, I was tempted just to sack it off and say, look, I'm not feeling great, I'll leave it there. But I stuck with it, and like I said, I got 4 sets of 4 out, which I will certainly take. And also on another note, I've noticed recently squats are starting to hammer my upper back. I'm getting all kinds of bruising. I've always kind of had that mildly, but for some reason recently it seems to be getting worse. Maybe because obviously the weight's going up. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. But yeah, I've got big old bruises on my neck. This is my 4th set coming up now. And like I said, this is a pretty massive grind. A lot of these reps are a grind. It was just one of those days where everything just felt hard. To be honest, I felt pretty decent warming up. But as soon as I did that first set heavy, the first kind of proper working set, I just thought, this is going to suck today. But yeah, I managed to stick with it and get them out. You can still see here, I'm just not quite happy with where I'm going down. It's frustrating. I mean, every so often I hit one squat and I bounce up and it feels really easy. If I can get that on a 1 rep max, I feel like I'm going to do a pretty massive PR when I attempt it. But the problem is that a lot of the time I'm not doing that. I'm hitting the wrong place and I'm either falling forwards or sitting back too much. It's a bit frustrating, but obviously the more I squat, it should start to come. It should start to become second nature, and then obviously it will become, you know, almost every rep where I'm hitting it nicely, and then eventually every single rep, and then I'll be the strongest man in the world. Moving on, I did some front squats. 3 sets of 5, I think I did. Very, very light, 100 kilos, so 220 pounds. I was absolutely wiped out at this point. It's been a very hard week, so I didn't want to do anything even remotely heavy. Kept it nice and light, and just tried to keep nice and upright. And I actually felt pretty good there, to be fair. I felt nice and strong, and as you can see there, the reps were really, really easy, as it should be with most of your accessory work if you are lifting heavy beforehand. And I then did some accessory work. I did some wide grip chins, or pull-ups, or hanging body raises, whatever you want to call them. That last one is not a real term, I just made that up now. I did 3 sets of, I think about 16 or 17, down to say 13 or so, then about 10 or so. I'm getting my strength back on these. I'm pretty much where I was before I left, which is nice. I would eventually like to be doing, you know, like 25, 30 of these bad boys, but that'll probably take a while. Plus the fact that I always do them after my other stuff, so I'm always fairly tired by that point. And then I did some lat pull-downs on this machine, which I actually quite like. Although, irritatingly enough, recently it started to go a bit wonky, so the levers aren't lined up, so you feel like you're doing more on one side, which is irritating, but at least it means the machine falls in line with the rest of the machines in my gym, in that it is absolutely crap now. But I did 3 sets of 12-ish of those, felt a massive amount of back engagement. I've noticed recently, I've said it before, I'm feeling loads and loads of lat engagement in my back work. My back feels like it's getting a lot bigger and a lot stronger, which is awesome, because up until recently that was definitely a weak point of mine. So the fact that I'm addressing that is obviously good news. And I finished the session and the week with some face pulls on the cable. I felt lots and lots of rear delt engagement on these. Very, very pleasing. 3 sets of 12-ish. Just trying to maintain that balance with all of the pressing and flying kind of movements that I'm doing. And it felt good. And I'm very pleased with that. And I'm very pleased with my session, guys. And the week as a whole. Obviously, rep PRs in both sessions. And all of my lifts in general are looking really good. So I will definitely take that. And as a little bonus for you, look at that bruise on my neck. So you see there, to be fair, it looks like it's more on the right hand side, which is slightly weird. But yeah, I've got all kinds of bruising. That photo doesn't really do it justice, but I've got all kinds of bruising on my neck. So I'm going to buy some kind of exotic back moisturizer, maybe some scented candles, some Marvin Gaye, and then you can connect the dots. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I will see you tomorrow.